Global warming is melting the glaciers.
Glaciers shrinking at a dramatic pace right before our eyes.
Heavy rain has battered Gulf states, causing flash floods in a year's worth of rain in a single day.
There are wildfires,
severe heatwave conditions,
extreme weather that's being experienced across 4 continents.
Disposable plastic bottles scooped out of the Thames.
The UK Met Office issuing its first red warning for extreme heat. Scientists say has been worsened by climate change.
We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change.
Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
We are trying to make climate change accessible and understandable to the Brent community. Climate change as a word is not really well understood, or it sounds very technical, very out of reach. So with the young people, we're trying to break down, well, what does that word mean to them?
My name is Marco, and I work for a company called Start Easy, and we do programs in the human rights, sometimes for the environment, climate change. We are producing too much carbon dioxide now. All these human activities, so cars, factories, cutting down the trees, because trees absorb from the air the carbon dioxide, and then they divide it in oxygen and they release it out in the atmosphere.
We are trying to get young people to share their understanding of what climate change is and how they feel that we should be acting to make a difference for the future.
Climate change means communities having to leave their houses and relocating to places that are more suitable for living.
When somebody says climate change, I normally think it as a bad thing, as like not very good things when I hear climate change.
I think about like the world is the planet. Our planet is kind of changing. Like there's less trees, more buildings.
The animals that like die for the cause, like the polar bears and the ice caps melting.
It is really important because it's happening right now, and the young people are the future. So our future is in their hands, so it's up to them to make the change.
In Brent, here and now, we feel the impact of climate change. It's not something that's far away anymore. We've had heat waves in the past. We've even had fires from the temperatures reaching really high, 40+ degrees. And then we've had flooding, which is an impact of climate change as well.
Trying to get people to understand the importance of where we live, how we live, and the impact we have on the environment is going to be absolutely key and critical in people trying to understand the challenges we're facing with the climate emergency and the climate change we're seeing.
If we were to make substantial change, climate action needs to represent those voices for all the communities. It needs to represent people from diverse backgrounds, from different ages, from different genders, and that's what we really want to get out of this film.
Jordan, as some of you don't know, it's the world's most water scarce country. We require water, but we don't have the enough supply for the people.
EcoPeace Middle East do some amazing work to deal with the effects of climate change. They've been running for decades now to try and tackle water shortages, which they face heavily in Jordan and Palestine.
Jordan is mainly using 2 sources of fresh water, the Jordan River and the Yarmouk River. And the impact of climate change in Jordan, the Jordan River, it's lost over 95% of its flow. So the Jordan River used to be over 1,200 million cubic meter of flow in the river, and now it's around 30.
I wanted to bring eco-peace into the conversation because in some ways, some of the issues that they're facing mirror some of the issues that we may be facing. And what they are trying to do is bring different people from different walks of life and different faiths and different understandings into a joint venture to challenge climate change together.
With all of these issues, when it's come to climate change, to the diversity, to conflicts, there is hope. And that's what is my message to you all. But all of these issues, it requires shared solution. We can't solve those issues without us standing together and working together.
I thought it was really important for the young people to see a different perspective in Jordan, Israel and Palestine right now. It could really open their eyes to a deeper understanding of climate change and hopefully inspire them to action.
If you could change anything in Brent, not just about climate change, what do you want to change? What would make things better or more happier for you in Brent?
Cost of living stops rising.
Oh, yeah, that's a real problem right now.
Stop using cars every day and have one international day to not use cars.
Cars come under transport, so if we don't use that many cars, what can we do instead?
Buses.
Yeah, buses.
Trains, bikes.
Yeah.
Skateboarding.
Walking. Yeah, exactly.
Hi, my name is Rania, and what's your name and what do you do?
My name is Aaron and I work in the Climate Emergency team here at Brent Council. And what I do changes every day, but the main thing that I do is work with local residents to understand what they would like to do for taking climate action. And a lot of the themes that we cover involve walking, cycling and greening in their local area. So I talk to local residents about what they'd like to see, and then I work with them and other people to help deliver those projects.
Hi, my name's Leanna Ray, and my question is what or who got you interested in climate change?
So what really got me interested in climate change was a project actually I did in Tanzania, where I realized that the way that we influence the world around us and the buildings and the nature and what we do here has a really big impact on people, their lives and their health and well-being. And so I wanted to get into a job that really helped have a big impact on people to help improve their lives.
Hi, I'm Alessia, and my question is, what's been your favorite project so far?
So my favorite project so far has actually been the community orchard that's right next door to here. And that involved planting fruit and nut trees. But the idea came from local residents. They came and they said, actually, we want you to plant some trees here and we want to get involved in that as well. It's a great project and it gives people access to fresh fruit when the trees start growing. And normally those types of projects take about a year to start, but then also to plant and for residents to look after it. But we managed to do it in 3 months, and we got loads of residents involved in creating that excitement, and we got a local school involved to actually take responsibility for watering the garden and using that space as an outdoor classroom.
My name is Hassan, and are children involved in your climate change project?
Yeah, children are always involved in our climate change projects, and that's because they play a really big part in how we take climate action. So we've got almost 100 students and children involved in planting the fruit and nut trees. We've got about 10 to 30 children involved in planting the community garden. And actually we've got a school nearby that really want to get involved and do classrooms in that space. We help children to understand their views on what climate action means for them, but also to get them involved in our greening projects and to support walking and cycling, because they go home and tell their parents about what they've been doing, and they encourage their own parents to also get involved in those projects.
Thank you for coming and taking part of our film project.
Thanks guys, there were some really good questions and it was a lot of fun.
I work really closely with communities on the ground to address the issues of climate change here in Brent. Some of the conversation was about talking to communities about the sustainability of projects such as access to green spaces, planting and biodiversity, doing something in a more sustainable way to make climate action the norm for everybody.
Hi Nadia, welcome to the House of Life.
How are you?
I'm all right, how are you?
I'm good. You ready for the filming?
Absolutely, can't wait.
You don't mind telling us a bit about yourself and what you do here?
Okay, so I'm Miriam. I'm the head of heritage for the House of Life Heritage Centre at Walsall Jewish Cemetery. And part of that role involves looking after all the heritage that you see here, including history, gardens, and the volunteers.
Sounds great. Could we take a look around?
Yeah, I'd love to show you. So this is an amazing story. This was basically a family plot owned by a family called Liebers, who were furniture makers, very successful. They had a factory, they had shops, they sold to people. And when we opened up this as a heritage site back in 2017, we got in touch with the family and said, you've got this beautiful plot that you're no longer using, can we transform it into a garden? And they said yes. So we planted the most amazing flowers, and the idea is to increase biodiversity across sections of the cemetery. And this is one of our most successful stories.
So why is that important to you or everyone here to create that biodiversity?
Well, I think the space was quite barren. It was originally opened as a Victorian garden cemetery. And I think today we're all very aware how important biodiversity is.
Yes.
And so we really want to we're always doing more. We're looking at different sections of the cemetery where we can do small garden plots like this and help the corridor in Brent.
Yeah, the green corridor.
The green corridor. So that's really exciting. We've got a group of volunteers who come in every week. They do some gardening, they manage this plot, so we monitor them, and every year we assess, and it's definitely been improving.
It's a really good example how you can use a space like a cemetery to create, to create biodiversity and create life. It's the either side.
Absolutely, and that's what we want to do. We really want to transform this place and for everyday people just to come, and it's open to everybody.
I'm a local resident here and look after the open space as a point of contact between the council and all the residents around here. So the open space project came about when the council reached out to all the residents around this space to ask them what they would like to do to improve it. A lot of people just hanging around making a mess, littering, fly tipping was also quite a problem. Opening your curtains in the morning and finding a fridge or a wardrobe just in the middle of an open space isn't a pleasant sight. The work that we've done as a local community with the council, it's much improved. It's a lot safer. There's plants now, there's trees that have been added in, there's benches, there's a nice path all the way around so people can walk around. So it's really improved.
My name is Tamer. I'm the owner of Roundwood Park Cafe. I had this lovely space for over 6 years now. Sustainability here is really important. It's playing a really important role in the community. We have the system with collect rainwater at the back of the cafe. So we're using the rainwater for growing up food. We also created the edible garden at the back, which is growing some apple fruits and some few beautiful trees there. So we use it. We donate this food for the food banks and the local food banks, and it's just beautiful. We partnership with National Connection Center and Housden Forum, and we are doing great projects for the community with the green spaces and encouraging more people to come out and join these lovely groups.
The Nature Connection Centre is based at the back of Roundwood Park Cafe. It was constituted back in 2019 through a neighbourhood community infrastructure levy grant. It was supported by the Housden Neighbourhood Forum and local residents. Living in inner city London, in the concrete jungle, having a garden and access to a green space is a privilege. Not many people have that privilege. So what we are trying to do is establish an outdoor space for residents and community members to be able to access and have access to an array of activities such as outdoor learning opportunities, to rebuild this area at the back of Roundwood Park Cafe, It's the first of its kind, being a consortium member of the Nature Connection Centre. It just shows the journey and also the progress between the council, the cafe and the rest of the consortium members to do something positive for our community.
My name is Roda Ibrahim. I am the founder and the director of SAFI, Somalia Advice and Information Forum.
And my name is Hamza Ahmed. I also work for SAFI, and recently we have been working for climate change and doing initiatives for climate change.
I am personally become a climate ambassador for Church Road and Church End.
So what we did is we went to our areas which were Church Road and this Roundwood Park here. What we did is we hired teachers to come teach, interact, have workshops to actually interact with the children and actually engage with them about the environment, about climate change, about greenhouse gases. It was very, very successful. A lot of children came, a lot of children learned. So now SAFI has taken the initiative to actually open and maintain it along with other collaborators. It's not just us. Brent Council has been a very, very large part.
My feelings about climate change in general are very much affected by the fact that my sister lives in East Africa, in Tanzania, where they feel it in a much more severe way than we do here. But seeing where my sister lives, where they've just come out, finally, of the end of a 3-year absolute drought, and where she keeps her cows, there is nothing to eat. The land has been taken down to dust. That will come here unless action is taken.
My name's Rosemary and I used to live in South Kenton, and when I actually was made redundant from work, which was in 1991, I wanted somewhere to go, so I'd heard of this walled garden. So I came along and everyone made me really welcome, and within 10 minutes of being here, I was then put to work on building a dry stone wall, which we still have in the garden today. It started off by a Saturday. Other volunteers said, I tell you what, why don't we make a tree nursery here? So we could grow from seeds all of the trees for the park. And there was something in the region of about 22,000 trees that were grown by volunteers here. All of us are volunteers. We get people that come in and they don't particularly want to talk. They want to go and just take a seat, maybe up by the pond, and just reflect on things in their lives, and we just let them be. If they come and talk or they want a cup of tea, then we'll make them tea or whatever. But basically it's really a little oasis in the middle of a very busy town, so it's a really peaceful thing, and it's just a secret garden.
My name is Otis Roberts. I'm from the Jason Roberts Foundation. I'm the CEO of the organisation, and the organisation is one based in Brent. We've done lots of clean-ups in the area locally. We do 2 or 3 of those a year. We've worked with groundworks around making the area nicer, planting flowers, and all sorts of things like that. So, we've got a young team around us of young people. We've got a green team, they call them, of about 8 individuals that kind of lead on our climate action programs.
Sustainability has always been part of our core ethos for our company, but not only our company, our family. So, it's a family-based business, and between my mother and I, we wouldn't have opened as if sustainability wasn't in our mind. We wanted to make something vibrant, colourful, beautiful, but not only that, accessible and welcoming for all of our customers and guests.
Brought up in Sri Lanka, is a very nature, the green country. Then when I came here, I felt like I didn't have a garden. I never had a garden. I was in always flat, kind of like, pretty much no plants. Then always I had this, I want to do the way I did in Sri Lanka. And I want to build something like a forest. That's the whole idea. It was in my dream. Luckily, my kids and my family, everyone said, okay, you have a, dream. This is kind of like a dream come true. School kids are around here a lot, and they are enjoying a lot, and elderly people, they are enjoying a lot because it wasn't like that before.
We have environmentally friendly coffee cups. That was, from the get-go, we made sure that was possible. Same with our straws, we have bamboo spoons, cutlery for takeaway, recyclable bags.
Even bags, we are using recyclable, like paper bags, newspaper bags, and pretty much everything recyclable. And I think we don't use even 1% of plastic. Yes, we are trying to avoid as much as we can.
Yeah.
Sustainability is really important for us here at Kingsbury Mandir. It's really important for faith communities to be taking a lead on the impact of not recycling, not reusing, that has on our community and our future generations. Children here at the Mandir have been at the forefront of implementing a number of changes. The garden that you can see in front of us and behind us is a garden that the children themselves designed. They then came over a course of a few weeks to actually do the planting and then maintain it.
We're doing things like planting a lot of flowers and trees, and I feel like it helped me understand that even like if you do just a little bit of work, it does actually help.
I think it's made an impact because it shows the wider community that we are doing something for climate change to make a better impact on the world.
Sustainability is really important at Conways because we want to do our bit to help the environment and reduce our emissions. We are doing some works in the borough at the moment to do with solar lighting on lamps. So to hear that there was kind of young people that were interested in reducing climate change in their area and just like getting to know what was going on, it just kind of connected with us because we like to help young people. We always have apprentices coming in and we're always trying to trial out new low carbon incentives. So yeah, it just means that we can kind of connect with the people actually living in the borough and show off what we're doing and get to see what you guys are doing as well.
I want to see the young people that have been involved really understand about climate change and how to communicate that to their friends, to people who are their age. And I want them to be able to have changed behaviours. I also want the film and the wider message of the film to reach more young people and more communities about the urgency coming from young people who will be impacted the most by climate change in the future.
The residents, the communities we have and the young people we have are absolutely key and critical in making sure that we actually deliver our promises around the net zero by 2030. It's going to be a challenge, but a challenge is what we actually need in order to make sure we're getting the best outcomes and we have a bright future for everyone.
Climate change affects me. Affects me. Affects me. Affects me.
Affects me.
Affects me. Affects me. Affects me.
Climate change, what's that?
Climate change is one of the biggest... Okay, the authority. I don't know.
Did you understand that?
Distribution channel.
What does that mean?
Distribution channel. Distribution.
Don't really know.
Distribution. 2 trillion tons of ice.
Pardon?
1.2 trillion ton. 1.2 Oh my god.
Don't really know.
My eyes.
What does that mean?
1.2 trillion tons of ice each year. That's a lot.
you.